Hi, Tony Selzo here. Welcome to Line. You know, I get to deal with some of the most brilliant people really on the planet and that are really leading the line. What the whole show is really built on, that bleeding edge where technology is going to revolutionize what we do, how we do it, and really change our lives. Tim Lynch with PsychSoft. Tim has one of the only degrees in the psychology of business. What is it?
Psychology of intelligent machines.
Psychology of intelligent machines. And that was at what university?
Boston University.
Boston University. He actually created an entire degree for his PhD, and that led you into really some cutting-edge stuff. I mean, you've done some really high-end work. Talk to me about some of the most interesting work you've done, Tim.
Well, you know, we were involved with one of the largest AIDS research studies ever for NIH.
Wow.
With using artificial intelligence software to conduct interviews with AIDS patients throughout the U.S.
Wow.
We got into doing stuff with CDC and the DOD as well.
Okay.
United Nations is using our software also. They called us, they wanted to use our software.
What does your software do, Tim? Exactly. Explain it to Homer Simpson. What does your software do?
It's natural language artificial intelligence software, so it will conduct interviews, it will ask questions, it will understand what you're saying, and it will go on from there. It doesn't do branching, and actually uses neural nets and fuzzy set theory to understand English.
Wow. And so, that's no small attempt, right? I mean, because English is one of the most complicated languages on earth, and to create and build a machine process, let alone have the computing processing power in order to do that, that's really why you started to evolve and get into the high-end, the computer side, the supercomputer side. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. Because we were getting frustrated because the computers that were around weren't fast enough, weren't powerful enough to keep up and do what we wanted it to do.
Uh-huh.
So we started building high-end machines to go along with the software.
Uh-huh. Because some of the big data challenges and problems you're trying to solve, they didn't actually, the processing power didn't actually exist in a normal environment. So you had to, the problems you were trying to solve, the hardware had to come up to kind of balance it out. Is that, I mean, am I simple?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you guys have been really called on to fix some very unique problems. And I just wanted to say that, kind of get this out there for our viewership. I mean, when you're a mile deep and an inch wide into something, that's when you have the greatest possibility to create partnerships with other people that are a mile deep and an inch wide. That cross-pollination is where innovation really goes to the next level. What are you seeing going to happen with your work? Where's the future of your work going to go? How's it going to change the world ultimately?
I think the machines are going to get smarter and smarter. They're going to get smarter and smarter. Mm-hmm. They're going to get more powerful. Intel just came out with an 8-core, 16-thread processor. Mm-hmm. So that's that's twice as much as most folks have with the regular Core i7s. Mm-hmm. So the machines are going to get faster and faster. We've got 64 bits, so we can use more and more RAM. Mm-hmm. We're doing supercomputers. We build personal supercomputers, where there's supercomputers in a box. Mm-hmm. So using NVIDIA cards, mm-hmm. As opposed to strictly relying on CPUs. Mm-hmm. So you can have a full, what amounts to a 10-node cluster on, right at your desk. If you want to do some high-end math stuff or weather forecasting or the FAA uses it to simulate crashes of small airplanes, mm-hmm. stuff like that.
Right.
And then we get into the clusters, which can go from 5 nodes all the way up to 100 nodes, and you know, each one of those is a separate computer, but they're working in tandem.
Right.
So you get 100 computers with 16 threads per computer. That's 1,600 threads. That's essentially 1,600 CPUs
Right.
that are working simultaneously on one problem.
And I just want to let me interject right there, Tim, because I just want to kind of translate that and how that's going to change the world that we are living in, both from a business and a consumer side, right? So what we're really talking about is this computing processing power. When you combine that with some of the big data analytics, some of the problems and questions you can answer in real time, some of the relationships you can start to understand and to develop and to predict, like to see based on a pattern of events what is going to happen for us. So simulating what a plane's going to do to crash. I just read an article about Target, knowing that somebody in the home was pregnant before they were telling anybody, right? I mean, this is the world we're starting to live in. And the practical examples of how this can be applied and change the way. So smarter marketing, better experiences for us as a consumer, being more personalized, one-to-one. I mean, we were talking about one-to-one in the mid-'80s, one-to-one marketing, but we are really in a world of one-to-one marketing these days, where you're actually getting customized messaging to you, both implicitly and your implicit and your explicit data points, right? Understanding how that can create a better customer experience for you. I mean, that's the world we're headed in, aren't we?
Yeah. And some folks actually came out with kiosks that will actually identify folks. So you can like scan your card or whatever, and will identify what you've purchased in the past, which is kind of scary,
right?
and then target ads on the kiosk to what you like,
right?
You can go to supermarkets and scan your card, and if you do the self-scanner thing, it gets kind of weird because you can walk down an aisle and the thing will beep and say you bought this, and this on this aisle in the past. And so they keep track of everything. So that's kind of scary too.
Right. Well, there's definitely a line you have to walk as a marketer between intrusion and building a better experience, right?